Money world. El mundo quiere dinero.
Hello everyone, my name is Christiana Milan, and today I will be having our guest speaker, author V. León, here to talk to you guys about his book, Dutiful, True Stories from Behind the Blue Line. Before we get started, I'd just like to say how informative, insightful, and impactful your book is. I hope you enjoyed that little alliteration I just did there though.
Thank you.
Well, let's get right into the questions.
All righty.
I think the number one question that your readers have is, who is V. León? Shine some light on the essence of who he is, well, you know, who you are.
Well, I'm Victor Harris, and V. León is a pen name or a moniker. It's not a pseudonym because it's a variation of my real name. So I'm a 27, over 25 years of law enforcement. And upon completion of my career, I wrote a book.
Well, I definitely enjoyed it, and I hope other people enjoyed it as well. And I'm glad you clarified that, because I know a lot of people were wondering, who is V. León? And who is this little boy in the book?
Yeah.
I know people were wondering that.
Yeah.
My next question is, who or what inspired you to write a book based on your experiences in law enforcement? And have you always wanted to be a self-published author?
Yes. I've always wanted to write a book about my life or my memoirs. But my wife and my daughter encouraged me to write the book. They actually, after I retired, they said that I basically wasn't doing anything. So I was working at the time, and I started an investment club, and I guess it wasn't enough. So they inspired me to write a book.
That's great. That's great.
I'm glad you like that. I'm glad you like that.
I enjoyed that one. Don't mind me. I just couldn't help myself from laughing at that one. It's always the women to push you. They got to push you a little bit further. That's all.
Yes.
Oh, they had great intentions.
Yes.
So how long did it take you to write the book? And I know I'm not the only one that's wondering that, because I feel like we were all waiting for you to write this book. And then it came out so quick, and it was just like, yes, I finally got my hands on it. How long did it take you to finish this masterpiece?
I'd say it was 5 to 6 months of
Wow.
painstaking efforts.
Wow.
It's a very tedious process, but 5 to 6 months, I'd say, between November and March.
Wow. That's incredible. That's
Thank
really incredible. I was also, while reading, I was absolutely amazed at how you were able to compartmentalize all of the stories and bring them to life on paper. How are you able to do that so effectively and eloquently?
Well, I'd say compartmentalize is the right word. Most of the stories I committed to memory, and hopefully they came to life vividly as I remember them. But yeah, it's my life, so I remember the stories well.
That's good. Yeah, I remember the prelude got me. So as soon as I open the book, I'm reading and I see the prelude and I'm reading it and I'm like, wow, I'm painting that picture like you said. I'm reading it and I'm feeling what you felt. I don't want to give too much away. But I felt everything. And that was like a great introduction, to reading your book, because I'm like, I'm not even in the book yet. I'm at the prelude. Like, this is great. It's amazing. It's amazing when authors can draw you in like that. That's how you know it's a wonderful book.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. That's how you know. You don't have to tell all of, later on we're gonna, post this, but you don't have to tell, the viewers, give them a sum, not the whole thing. But should your readers be on the lookout for more books from V. León, or is it a secret?
Well, I could say this. In writing this book, I was inspired to write an outline for the prequel to this book. So the outline is done. So real soon, be on the lookout for the next book.
Okay.
Very soon.
Thanks, because I know a lot of people were wanting to know. I was ready. Like I said, I was reading that book and I was like, oh my goodness, I need to know more. I need to know more about V. León and his adventures and what's going on in his life. And
I can say this, that this book is the appetizer. My next book will be the full course meal. So
I like that. I like that. Well said. My next question is, what was one of the most surprising things you learned while writing your book? Whether you learned something about yourself, your writing skills or habits, whether you remembered a lesson and you were like, I'm glad I paid attention or caught that, lesson. I didn't know that before. Was there anything that surprised you?
Yes. Writing is a feeling. So when you wake up with the feeling, you have to put it down on paper, and it comes out profusely, and it comes out in like a deluge of water. So in that deluge of water, it rushes out. So you got to put it down once. If you wake up with the feeling, you got to put it down immediately.
Okay, that's a good tip for future authors.
Yes.
That's a great tip. There are so many different law enforcement books out there. What makes yours stand out?
My book should stand out because it's my life. And it's very different in that I started in a women's maximum security prison. And I left for Chicago Housing Authority, which was in the CPD Academy. And I left there to go to the Illinois State Police. So my journey is a little bit different than most.
I definitely agree with that because, I read that book. I did.
Right.
My next question, though, follow up to my first question. Do you think an active cop would benefit from reading your book, especially considering all the things that are going on in today's society?
An active cop?
Yeah, an active duty cop, right?
A police officer on the job currently.
Yes.
Yes, he would. He would benefit from reading my book. He learned a lot. Especially, I would like for young cops to learn from my mistakes. So you should learn from your own, but you should also learn from others. So I think you'll learn from my mistakes and my triumphs.
So my next question might be kind of deep, not necessarily speaking, but do you feel fulfilled after committing yourself and your life to 25 years of law enforcement? And what is to come or what is ahead?
Yes. Do I feel fulfilled with my career?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, after 25 years, actually close to 27 years, I do feel fulfilled. And it's what I've always wanted to do since I was a kid. So I believe I fulfilled that. Looking back at my career, I'd say early on, looking through a different lens of a 27-year-old to a 50-year-old, I kind of did things different. But let's see, somewhere around 2005, 2006, I kind of, how would I say? I tailored my career to make a difference. I tailored it to make a difference every day I was out there. So, and I think I did that.
Okay. And what's to come or what's ahead?
What's to come? Well, another book is to come. And and travel the world with my wife.
Okay, I love that. I know she'll love that too. My last question is, do you have any advice for someone that is currently in law enforcement? And a follow-up, do you have any advice for a child that wants to pursue law enforcement when they grow up, similar to you?
I'd say, going back to what I just said, I'd say don't aspire to make a living, aspire to make a difference. That's what you should do. And hopefully that will serve them well. I always led from a place of service. So service to the public. So hopefully that will inspire someone else.
Okay. And what about the young child? I know you did mention that in the book. I won't give too much away, but any advice for a young child that wants to grow up and, serve the community?
I'd say this, as I was inspired by Officer Friendly. I'd say judge for yourself. Judge for yourself. Don't take anyone else's word for what police officers do. I'd say judge for yourself, investigate it for yourself, verify and substantiate it yourself. And once you've done that work, I'd say study criminology, or I'd say study criminal social justice in college. And I'd say pursue your career. But it was very rewarding for me.
Perfect. I love that answer. I love that. Well, that's all the questions I have. Do you have anything for your readers or the viewers of this interview?
Well, I'd say go to Amazon and purchase my book. And I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone for buying it thus far.
Well, thank you so much for letting me interview you. And to everyone watching this, I hope you enjoy. Be sure to buy V. León's book, Dutiful, True Stories from Behind the Blue Line on Amazon. Thank you.
It was very nice meeting you, Christiana.
Money world. El mundo quiere dinero.